Hello there guys, welcome to Dino's World. Welcome to kind of a podcast reaction video to the leaks that have absolutely shaken the universe, the two-wheeler market here in India. So today we're going to take a look at the leaked spy shots or the pics of the upcoming Duke 390. This is big, this is huge because KTM redefined performance. KTM redefined the way people look at motorcycles here in India. They kind of underscored the fact that the fun in the motorcycles is what it is all about. The thrill and the intensity and the adrenaline rush is what motorcycles are truly stand up for or are meant for. Okay, so we have production spec ready form of the Duke 390. So we're going to have a look at that. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the pictures. Here is picture number one. So I'm going to look at it and react. First of all, huge thanks to iamabiker.com. Avin, very good friend of mine, very good well-wisher, and we've met at multiple launches and he is like a brother to me. So I have taken his permission. With his permission, with the site's permission, we are using their images, the iamabiker.com. If you haven't followed them, follow them on Instagram, YouTube, everywhere you can. Facebook as well, where they've shared these pictures. So this is the first picture. So you can see the tank, and you have the tank shrouds extending far out, more aggressive and more animalistic kind of a feel, more radical, futuristic, typical KTM kind of a design language. And the trellis frame is painted in orange. What I can make out here are two things. First is the offset monoshock, which again reads WP. Maybe it is the WP Apex. Yeah, it is the WP Apex shock absorber, but it is offset in the way it has been set up with the chassis geometry. And you have a hubless disc. It is a huge disc. I can make that out, and it might be 320 mm, which is what we get now, but it's a hubless disc. So these are two important things, and the tank design that completely changes here for the 2024 model. And yeah, it looks far more aggressive, kind of inspired by the upcoming Duke 990. I'm not sure, but this is the first image. Let's go to the next image. Is more or less the same image with zoomed in pictures to give you a closer look of the USD forks and the this thing. And next, so this is the front image of the Duke 390, and you can see clearly the headlamp here. And the headlamp design again is a mixture. It kind of has the same elements as the one that we see now with the Duke 390, but the surrounding DRLs are more animalistic and more sharper, kind of inspired from the 1290 Super Duke. So it looks more sinister kind of a look. So that is good, and the DRLs look more sharper, more like a saber tooth kind of animal. So again, this is the front look. So it looks sharper, radical, futuristic, which is a typical KTM design language. Yeah, this is the next image. In this we have the side profile, and in this side profile the bike is almost completely visible here in its production avatar, because there's no camouflage, nothing. We have the finished paint in blue color, we have the orange decals, we have the Duke branding over there, we have the USD forks exposed with I think the orange fork seals, which are actually more premium USD fork, the oil seals. And even the swing arm design is different here as compared to what we see now. So chassis geometry seems to have completely changed. The trellis frame is exposed. The bolt-on subframe again gets a revised design, and overall I think it feels far more aggressive to take on the streets or take on the corners. The corner rocket is what they call it. So I think it's far more aggressive now, ready to literally set the streets on fire. And the tires, we don't know, maybe these are Metzellers, should be Metzellers. That's what complement the character of the bike. And the rest of the thing, the seat again seems to have slightly changed, the seat layout. So that is one thing you can see. And yeah, the hubless disc is again visible, and the rear swing arm is clearly visible here. And again, the tank shrouds extend way far out, so they look more aggressive, more prominent, more striking. So do you like them? I mean, do you like them or not? You feel free to comment below. Let me know. Do you like this design language? So what happened with the RC? Though it is a beautifully handling machine, the new current gen RC, the design didn't go well with most of them. Some of them liked it, some of them didn't. So it had mixed opinions. But this one is again a new design kind of a setup or an attempt by KTM where they are revising it quite a bit. So does it go well with you guys, KTM fanboys? That is a big question. You have to react to this. You have to comment below to let the company folks know whether you want this in this form or not, because it doesn't get more clearer than this. Absolute clear shot of the profile as to how the design is going to look. The tank shrouds, I think, will further channel more air into the engine chamber to keep a check on the engine temperature, and also weight the hot air away from your knees. Let's hope for that. And again, a front shot where the headlamp is clearly visible. We already talked about that. And we're going to talk about the headlamp elements. Again, this is a close-up shot of the headlamp. Dare I say, does it remind us a little bit of the new gen Apache series? Because a little bit of the curvature kind of reminds, but you have the heatsink shield in between for the LED lighting. Typically KTM design silhouette LED DRLs are there. The mirrors get a new design, so that is clearly evident in this picture. The console is slightly slimmer. I hope we get a color TFT console inspired by the Super Duke. That is something when the cluster itself bleeds orange as you rev the throttle, ring the throttle wide open. That is a hallmark of the beast coming alive for 1290 Super Duke. How I wish they launch it here. But this console looks far more sleeker and more streamlined and more futuristic to go with the new age design. Yeah, this design language, I think it looks much more will look much more appealing and more aggressive in flesh, rather than the camera angles don't do justice to the actual demeanor of the bike. Even the RC390, if you look at it in flesh, you will feel it far more compelling and more intriguing rather than what it appears in the pictures. So next picture is the rear profile. Now here you can see the tail lamp again gets a slightly revised design, maybe. Again, clear cut shot of the offset monoshock. Another thing to note, so we've noticed two things in the first picture, which was the offset monoshock and the hubless massive disc. Then the console, also speedo console, gets a smart or streamlined design. The headlamp gets a new design. So these become four important points. The tank gets a completely overhaul design language, sharper shoulders like that of a Predator. And then the trellis frame gets a revised geometry with the bolt-on subframe, which gets completely different layout now. The seats are different. So it is a complete proper overhaul that the Duke deserved. So here what is evident is the underbelly exhaust. So the underbelly exhaust, earlier we've gotten the side mount exhaust. Now again we go back to the underbelly exhaust. We don't know. So that's what is seen here. And again the revised design for the swing arm. So that is an again interesting concept, and you get the rear disc, of course. The tires are visible. The tread pattern, going by the tread pattern, maybe it is Metzeller's. That's what I can figure out. Again, LED turn blinkers remain the same. Again, imabiker.com, thanks to them for allowing me to feature these pics for you guys with their permission and talk about it. So that was the rear view, and then you have a clearer view of the engine casing. Again, it is newly laid out. Again, you have a clear cut shot of the tail lamp here. Again, completely new design, not inspired by any other motorcycle. So they have their own design language. Again, the rear subframe is far more prominent here with the kind of skeleton kind of layout anatomy. And then you have another picture, again the front and again the profile shot. So that concludes. So we've learned few things. It is a complete overhaul, complete design overhaul, starting from the headlamp to the tank shrouds or the tank scoops. Then you have the hubless disc. You have a completely revised geometry for the chassis. You have new bolt-on subframe, new design for the swing arm, new layout for the seat, new mirrors, and new speedo console. How many did that become? Hubless disc, New chassis structure, new tank design, new headlamp, new mirrors, new speedo console, new seat layout. What else? New swing arm. Okay, so 8 points. Are they? You just keep on going and raving about it because it is a more aggressive, more futuristic form of the Duke coming alive. I'm hoping that it will look much more appealing in flesh rather than in pictures. It looks very new age, very radical, typical KTM design silhouette because they've always nailed it. They have stamped their own design language time and again. So let's hope that this one rocks the show and surprises us, and let's hope the power plant is really powerful because it's been time that the 390 has been doing rounds. People have tasted it, they have tested it, they have had the share of fun on the KTMs. They want more fun now, they want to upgrade. So let's hope they bump up the power a wee bit to make things a little more interesting. So it's all just speculation and hoping as a KTM fanboy, bleed orange. And so that is about my first look reaction of the KTM Duke 390, the spy shots that are out. What do you think? Do you like the design? What do you expect from this upgrade? Feel free to comment below. And what should be the pricing? Feel free to comment below. Let me know. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Until then, take care. God bless and ride safe.